morning, everyone. Welcome to Talking Horses. Maggie Wolfendale and Andy Serling, of course, brought to us by our good friends at Saratoga Springwater. How are you? How's your holiday?
Very good, yeah. Kind of relaxing. I think when you have children, it's walking the line there. Got to watch 3/4 of Oppenheimer before they woke up from their naps on Thanksgiving Day, which I need to go back and watch.
The ending's good. Do you like it?
Don't give it away.
No,
But yes, I liked everything.
I couldn't give it away. I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
It's more good.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously it's historical, but yeah.
Have you watched the new episodes of The Crown yet?
No, I didn't realize they were out.
They came out a week ago. I watched them with my mom.
Oh, boy.
There's 4.
Let's get into that.
It's the last season. There's 4, and then they're releasing the last 6 in the middle of December.
Okay.
I'll keep you abreast.
Okay.
Because clearly
thanks.
you're not as on top of these things as
I'm
me. You
not.
have a couple other things going on in your life than I
I've
do.
switched over to Apple TV a bit, so
Really?
I've been watching those shows, like the morning show. Have you watched that at all?
No, I don't have Apple. I don't
It's not
watch
that
that much. I just basically watch West Wing replays on a loop.
we talked about
My
this.
entire life is a loop
Weirdo.
of West Wing replays. Anyway, got 9 races to talk about. Today's my last day, actually, until January 1st. So I'll
Yeah,
be
I
in
mean, what are you
Jamaica next
doing?
week.
Sabbatical? What is this?
It's called days off that I haven't taken that I need to take or
I
I'll lose
know.
them, and
Yeah.
happy to take a few weeks off.
Yeah, you beat me to the punch.
Did I?
Yeah.
You have that many days left?
I have quite a few.
You actually take more vacations than I do. You actually
Also
have more
true.
of a life than I do, a real life. Anyway, but looking forward to heading down to Jamaica next week, actually.
I know.
around
Okay.
Bobby and
Well,
Eldon.
honestly, that's what I'm most jealous of you for.
Well, you're just jealous
going
because
to
you go to
Jamaica.
Oaklawn and now you find out I'm going to Jamaica. And you realize
Exactly.
it's good. I don't know what to tell
Hot
you.
Springs,
I don't know.
Jamaica.
I'm
I
not-
mean, Hot Springs is fine once we get to April, but it's not much change from here to there.
Yeah, it's pretty consistent
the
looking
weather.
at the weather report for Kingston, 85 and sunny.
Yeah, okay. That's nice.
Bobby and Eldon and I will be down there. We'll send you some pictures.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
That is the crew.
No, it's
and
gonna be fun.
Raj. I mean, he's going to be your
down.
tour guide.
He's coming. Oh no, the guys from the track show you around. I was talking to Pete
Oh, okay.
Aiello yesterday, and of course, most of you know Pete is the announcer at Gulfstream, and he had been there a few weeks ago, and he was
Yeah,
talking about what
I
a
saw
great
that.
time he had
Yeah,
down there,
it
and he was
looks
saying it's
great.
going to be a ball. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, listen, we're every day is Jamaica Day at Aqueduct. And they are is the best fans in racing. The Jamaicans are the best
100%.
fans in racing. There's no doubt about it. Great guys, love all our fans that come out, and they come out in force here at Aqueduct. I've known them for many years here, and they're knowledgeable and fun and great guys. So I'm really looking forward to heading down there and
As you
get a
should
little
be.
of that flavor. Yeah, looking
Yeah.
forward to that. Anyway, head over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, no better time than the present. Use the promo code MATCH200. We'll match with $200 of your initial deposit. Other stuff we got. Oh yeah, that middle pick 4. Tommy Bellhouse had some problem in the middle pick 4. I'm not quite sure what he was getting at. Maybe he was trying to subliminally tell me to play it yesterday. I didn't. I should have. That starts in race 3 of our 9-race card. Got a couple of things on Naira Bets. We've got a $2,500 hit and split early pick 5 at Churchill. It's closing day at Churchill Downs. So some nice 2-year-old performances yesterday, and a massive disappointment from Booth, the horse who had been such an impressive winner of his maiden at Keeneland. He totally bombed in his second start. He looked like he could have been a good one. Who knows if something went wrong or not. We also have the 0 takeout sign up. I just opted in for this at Aqueduct. No takeout Sundays here. Play the opt in and Play Exact is here. Also, we're back on Fox today. We're on from 12 to 4:30 covering all the action, which includes our first race, Maggie. And I'll let you go here when we put our picks up. We both picked the same horse, Practical Miss. Dave Duggan with his second training double
I
in
know.
the last
I
weeks
feel
yesterday.
like
Last
as
time
much
was
as
the
I
time,
like
but-
this filly, yes, and last time was the time to have her, certainly. I just couldn't really latch on to anybody else in this
agree.
race. And I mean, Dave's just having a tremendous meet so far, and that's fantastic. Because I feel like Montauk Mystique, she's a little bit tough to trust, though she was somewhat flattered when Eastern Star came back and ran well in a maiden special weight, only improving her by a point, though. But
She got such a good trip. She she ran okay, and she certainly can win, but didn't she kind of just fall into a trip for second?
I
a little
agree.
bit?
I mean, she was well beaten, but Practical Miss, she took on the boys last time. And while she looked, she looked as though she matched it up well against them physically, so I wasn't too concerned about that. She just faced the all-time they knew horse in Screw Loose, who wired the field that day as the favorite, which none of us really foresaw coming.
None of us, but everybody else that was betting
what I
certainly
mean.
saw her as a mortal lock. I think that Good Morning Kiss is the horse that whomever you like, and I like you, prefer the 3 of the 5. I am not a big fan. I'm not so Mystique. I'd rather go to Practical Miss, second time in the dirt. But, you know, I will say Jose basically gave up on Good Morning Kiss, and for all intents and purposes, eased her at the 3/8 ball. Now,
Yeah.
she wasn't winning. It's not like he was, you know, he did it when she was hopelessly beaten.
Yeah.
But you do get the feeling that she's supposed to run better today. But she feels like the kind of horse that either you kind of think she's the right horse in here, or like you think she's the wrong horse. I would use 2s and 3s here. I'm scared of her, but it may be that she just can't run at all anymore.
I will say, looking at her physically, she looks as though the longer distance isn't going to be a problem, but you're also, you know, taking a horse off of an eased effort, second off of a layoff, in which it's not like she was, you know, some hot thing when she was running as a
Right,
two-year-old.
that's fair. It's not like she's not like she's ever run particularly well.
Right.
I don't know what to expect from her. I'm
I
not
mean,
going to be
she'll
surprised
beat
when she
me,
wins
but-
by 4 lengths. I'm not going to be surprised when she's last.
Right. She's a hard horse to sit up here and endorse. So that's more or less why I have her 4th. But am I going to be shocked when she wins? Not at all.
Not in this field. You're not going to be
Exactly.
shocked. Race number 2, I thought, was a goofy race, and I may have taken a horse that might just not ultimately be good enough as we switched over to race. You picked the same horse as me. So why don't you tell us why you like a Rolling Stone?
Oh man, I really thought we'd be on different ends of the spectrum here. Purely, Andy, because she's just, for me, it feels like she's faced better horses. And furthermore, it just didn't look like she was necessarily handling the racetrack last time. You know, it was at sealed surface, yes, labeled as fast. She's never been on a truly fast surface in her career. And I actually didn't mind her going into that. I knew she was a big price, but you know, looking at them in the paddock, it looked like she belonged with that crew in the Maid of the Mist. She gets blinkers on. She just seemed uncomfortable and lost out there. And I just think that Les Brown, being a daughter of
agree about
Boston
Les Brown,
Stones, it's the formula to be competitive here. And really, there's nobody that stands out on paper as being, you know, a heavy favorite. Tavin has the best number last time, but boy,
Show her last race, guys.
I know the margin of, you know, victory was a length and a quarter, but were you sure she was ever going to really, truly win?
Well, I
here?
needed a second horse who was
Yeah,
one
of
of the
course,
3
right.
Dave Duggan. Well, that was the same day as Classic
Yep.
Diva. And when Dave Duggan had those horses running and they were all coming in and running from out of town, and she gave her all she could handle, there was a big gap back to the others. You know, claimed away from a trainer, Brittany Russell, that wins at a high percentage.
Yep.
Wayne Potts has had some horses that have run live, but I think one of the reasons I took like a Rolling Stone, things you mentioned, and also don't like a lot of horses in here. I'm not going to be surprised when Taven wins. I just have no interest in taking that horse in the change. I'm not going to be surprised when Progeny wins, but I thought Progeny beat a terrible, terrible field last time out. I'm not going to be surprised when Antenna wins. Antenna scares me. We'll take a look at her last race. I know she's claimed away from Todd, but she did keep some good company, and I'm always scared of Linda Rice horses off the claim. I just always am.
But it's not like she was flattered the other day when By the Glass and Extra Dirty got well beaten.
No, I don't disagree. I don't have any great feeling that she's that good. I just wonder if she can improve a little. I wouldn't. Oddly, this is probably wrong. It's tough to claim from Todd. I wouldn't love her if Todd still trained her, but I always give extra respect when Linda claims them. She has a good eye, and she does well with claims.
I mean, they paid $300,000 for this filly as a yearling, so obviously there's some things to like with her. And they seem to
Not much anymore.
readily
Not for
give
300.
up on her too.
Yep.
And I think she was helped by, you know, the other logical horse who at that point, Extra Dirty, was still trained by Chad Brown, and she had a bit of a trip that day where Antenna got to just control things on the front end.
Do you know she was 3-2 off the claim from Chad Brown in
Yes,
Nightfall
I
Chatterpole
was
the other
in,
day?
yep.
Oh, you were here?
Fully aware.
Were you
Yeah.
here?
Yeah, I was here on
Oh,
Friday.
I didn't realize you were here on Friday. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I was on the train, so I really wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Low Society. I looked up horses out of that race, okay? Roman Goddess, who won the race, ran a 52 buyer, a 74 in this race, and came back with a 58. The second horse ran a 58 buyer, 66 in this race, 58 coming out.
Yep.
I'm wondering if that's a figure you want to rely on going forward. Now, to be fair, Timeform US had it pretty highly ranked as well. I just kept going through and thinking, I'm just not that interested in the ones that have run. I thought the 6 would be a bit of a price. I think we saw the same things in race number 2. But I'll be honest with you, Classic Diva looks a little slow. Nobody else is going to surprise me if they win this race.
Right,
I
exactly.
mean, I'm not going out on a limb against anybody. They're just a bunch of horses I didn't want to pick.
Yep.
Race number 3. Looking at Rose, we'll take a look at Rose's, and I include Portos, who ran 4th in there, because Portos actually ran
He ran
really well
time.
last time for Wayne Potts. He made a big
did.
move against much better horses.
I like what Trevor did with him. He's a horse that is lazy at the end of the day.
I know, he
and
actually
wants
got
to
him in the
hang,
race.
And he he stayed all over him the entire way.
But this guy's
here.
the horse to beat, isn't he? I mean, he's so consistent.
He's so consistent. He takes his show on the road no matter where he is. Last time, he faced a 1-5, one of those Jamie Ness freight trains down in the Mid-Atlantic. And he just came up second best, chasing him the whole way around there. And the last time we saw him in this same exact condition here at this racetrack, he won. Granted, I mean, he didn't win the biggest margin ever, but I almost feel like
better horses that
starter
race,
25 was better.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I picked against him because I'm committed to betting on Sundays with Sandy, but I have nothing against looking at Roses.
I get Sundays with Sandy, but I don't like him from my perspective, what I see from him in the paddock.
He got a bad ride last time.
Really
I mean,
bad.
I think Louis Rivera has a real future. I think he's
He
a good
does.
rider.
But
like any young guy, he's got to learn some things.
In his defense, though, you know, he showed forethought for the fact that going into that race, Andy, it felt like there were 5 speeds. And he thought, well, I don't want to get involved in that.
That's not what you should do as a rider.
But
you should
you
always
need to
come
be
out, as Richie says, getting your
and
position going
aggressive.
forward. And if they're going to go, then they go. But they didn't go, and he ended up just, you know, and that I think is a
understand what
great
he
point
was
which you're
thinking.
making, right? But that's exactly why you don't do that. It's exactly why you don't go into a race deciding you're going to ride a certain way.
Being the
you let the
passive
race
one.
tell you how to go, because he ended up fighting the horse the whole way, wide the whole
And
way.
this horse needs to be in
Tougher
front.
field, and he needs to be forward. And with Manny riding, Manny's coming out firing in this race. Now, I'm not sure he's going to beat the 2 even if he does that, but at least he has the figures to do it. So I have to take him off that. Anybody else wins this race, Maggie, I can't win. I know they're the first 2 choices.
I agree.
I can't use anybody else in here.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that I just haven't liked Sundays with Sandy in the prelims just made me like looking at Roses even more.
All right, race number 4. A lot of scratches in here. And in race number 4, listen, we'll take a look at Airport. You know how long it took me to realize his name is Airport?
That's embarrassing.
I kept looking at it as Hairport and sort of not really putting it together. A lot of times I just don't say their names, Mag. So unless, you know what I mean? He's loose the lead. I don't trust him, but sure, he met a lot of better horse in his race.
Yeah, coming in off the voided claim, though I will say that, you know, oftentimes that doesn't matter at all. He's had ample time now in between races. You know, I wonder. Look, the winner came up the inside on him last time out. I agree with you.
That was a pretty contentious pace, too, and the rail was good last time.
Yeah.
I don't think he, you know, I mean, he had his excuse for the pace. Listen,
But
he's going to be 4 to 5 in this race, I have to think. Isn't
he's
he?
probably faster, but, I mean, what else are they going to do with Bourbon's Hope? Don't they at least, you know, press him to get there a little bit?
He's
it's
not,
not like
he's
Chuck
not
Willis.
as fast as that horse.
I
Chuck
agree,
Willis
it's
is
not-
way faster than Bourbon.
Chuck Willis is fast, but at least he gets to be outside. And I know his better days are probably far behind him in the rearview mirror, and 2, he is more of a turf horse. But I thought last time he faced pretty much all other dirt horses and ran respectably.
No, I don't disagree. Got him
I
second.
know the figure's slow, which is tough to trust him in here because of that. But I just thought he ran respectably enough in his first start on the dirt that, you know what? I'll give him a shot at this level.
It's not impossible. I don't want any of the others. He should be. I think he should be second choice. I don't get Prince James at all.
No.
Why would you want Prince James, who in a $10,000 claimer at 3-2 was terrible, and he claimed off Linda Rice?
He's
That
so
horse,
hard to
that
trust,
horse
that
wins
horse.
this race. I lose.
You know, he's so hard to trust in anybody's barn.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
I agree. I
Yeah.
totally agree with you. I totally agree. We'll see what happens in race number 4. I just basically copped out with the favorite. Race number 5. I got scratched out of race number 5. I like the number 3, Big Bobby. Talk about Anthracite.
Oh, I didn't necessarily love Anthracite going into his last race because I thought his effort back on October 21st wasn't very good. He was very disappointing. But last time, it was a slow pace. And I mean, maybe, you know, hindsight's 20/20. If Jose Gomez could do this over again, maybe he lets this horse run into his hands like Dylan Davis did with the eventual winner, Tenebris, who Dylan at first wanted to take a hold of, and then
Jose
he realized
needs to just go with this horse
right,
today. Just
and then
go.
he realized that the pace was slow, so he went on with Tenebris, and it resulted in a win, and he may have just been best that day. But I thought Anthracite ran well off the claim for Dave Donkin here, and furthermore, there's nobody like I'm that in love with. I kind of get Winning Connection in here. Both of us have him second.
Well, he's probably going to leave Rick Dutcher's horses out.
Yeah.
But this is a horse that Rick's had for 2 starts.
Right.
And he hasn't improved for him at all. Now, doesn't mean he can't improve. Doesn't mean he won't improve. But he's a bit of a lagger. And I don't see there being a ton of pace in this race.
No, that's a problem,
And the
right?
2 is supposed to be forward.
Exactly.
And the 3 was one of the ones that could have been forward as well. So I think it hurts him and it helps the horses that are forward.
Yeah.
And I don't like Fight Fiercely. We'll take a
No,
look at
he
his
seems
last win.
He seems a little bit cheaper than that.
I mean, listen, I know that Disappearance came back and won yesterday by a Barristan Noses, but that was a very weak field.
I agree. I mean, the kind of horse that if he's offering a decent price is number 1 Street Swag. You know, the only time he's gone long, he was well beaten and probably with the racetrack at Ellis that day. But at least he's kind of a little bit of a new face in here because he's never faced older company. He's been facing straight 3-year-olds, which could also be a knock against him. But I almost kind of feel like some of those 3-year-olds are a little better than what he, you know, contends with here. But for me, Anthracite, he ran well last time, and I think you just have to let him kind of get into his stride, which he wasn't able to do last time.
I agree. Let him go forward here. I totally agree with you on that assessment. We'll see what
How
happens.
boring.
Sorry.
I know, sorry.
Put these picks up like a week ago. I think I handicapped his card like around Halloween. Around Breeders'
I know,
Cup
with
weekend.
the coming out a week
I like him
early.
coming out. That was great,
That's
actually.
great,
That was
yeah.
nice. Anyway, we're done with the first 5. The late pick 4 after a quick break.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. Maggie Wolfendale and Andy Serling as we get into late pick 4 and race number 6. Agreeing Horses takes a bit of a turn here. We have slightly different picks in here. And I think you and I, one of the things that'll start in this race, and I'm not saying it's going to be favored, but these connections so often are, neither one of us are particularly good, big fans of virtual reality. Now, we'll go back to her debut, which was a win going shorter. I don't know what to do with this horse because her second race was extremely good. The rail wasn't a good place to be. Going 1 mile and 1/8 her second start. Buston Bay has been in good form until yesterday. And she ran so well in there. This win wasn't anything exciting. The second race seemed to be a lot better. But what do you do with her? She's in a match race and is eased in her next start. She didn't run that badly on the turf last time, but I don't have any confidence that she's really very good.
And I feel like Connections don't feel like she's very good because they seem to have tried everything with her. Now, this is, you know, a fine stat, but is it though?
It's not a good stat. That's
It's
why I'm
not.
showing it. In other words, first of all, 22% is nothing great for Chad Brown. He wins higher percentage than that. It's a stat where a lot of trainers have good prices, right? Have good results. But the reason I showed it was it fits this horse very well. In other words, okay, 22% is fine for a trainer, right? But these are horses that are 9-5 to 2-1, and they're winning at 22%. And I thought it fit this horse very well. They're just not great gambles. Chad is not a trainer going back and forth with distance. Now, what helps this horse is she did win her debut at 7. But do we really think she's winning this race if she runs her debut against Risk Free? I don't. You don't.
No.
So this is just not, it's a move that he makes fairly often, but it almost feels a little bit like he does it out of semi-desperation.
And this looks pretty desperate with her because it's like the only thing he has
Trying to figure out what to do with her. Yeah. Well, she ran short her first start and ran okay.
Yeah, and look, that's kind of what she looks like. So I'm not, against it by what I've seen from her in the paddock. It's just, I just don't really trust her. I mean,
here's your horse's
what's
second
the
to
fastest race she had? You know what I mean?
Not a fan. Now your horse, this is 3-back for her when she was second to Hot Fudge. I think she runs this race. She's going to be very tough to beat in here. Hot Fudge has obviously improved a lot since then, but even Captain's Daughter was third. She's run some good races if we can get that replay up there. I have no argument against her. The only problem with her, is there a problem, guys, with the replay for Kitten's Appeal? Is that she's off a layoff.
Yeah. That is the only problem. But for me, she's just faced better horses in here. She looks as though she, excuse me, is supposed to be loose. I don't know if anybody's going to be able to go with her necessarily. Mongolian Panther wasn't
She's supposed to
handled
stalk her
correctly
well,
last time.
Mongolian Panther, no, you're
Yeah.
being nice. Mongolian Panther got an embarrassingly bad ride last time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it was a terrible ride. It's nice of David to be riding him again, frankly. If I were David, I would not be so happy.
Yeah,
There's a reason she ran, almost 20 fire points worse than she normally runs. That was a terrible ride.
Yeah, and she was so uncomfortable too.
He was strangling her back. It's like,
yeah.
If you have the inside, you've got to be decisive and be aggressive, especially when you have a horse that can be a little forward. Because when you aren't, you'll end up just getting completely shuffled out of the race.
Yeah.
It happens time and time again.
Yeah.
That's when you have to be decisive.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened as Give Me a Kiss was able to wire the field that day. And you could see when she was coming around the turn while stymied down on the inside, she was even on a wrong lead. She was
giving up. She was just giving up.
Exactly.
And if you draw a line through her last race, she's kind of the worst to beat.
I know,
And
I picked her last time, which was...
I was home, and I remember watching it. I did not bet. And I remember
Good.
watching it and thinking, oh my God, that horse is getting some ride.
Yeah.
I might have been texting with David. By the way, it's David Aragona's birthday today, so happy birthday
happy
to our friend
birthday,
David.
David.
Great morning line maker here. Now, I just realized this because we had this conversation before the show.
Yeah, Desert
Desert Dalliance is a switch from Kelly Breen to Rudy Rodriguez. And for those who remember yesterday's 8th race, there was quite an improvement for a horse that made that exact switch yesterday. So maybe I should have gone back over and thrown this horse in somewhere.
And maybe that's why David, had her
Well,
at 4
that's
to
why I
1
was thinking there were
about it.
others, because this horse, I was thinking it happened before.
Yeah.
But that was a switch that worked. I don't like her in this spot, but I'm
I
not going to
don't
be surprised
either.
when she runs back to one of her best
Because
races.
I feel like she is one that appreciates some pace to run into, and I don't know that she gets it here.
And the horse to beat her
But
speeds.
again, maybe with the change to Rudy, she shows a bit more, early
Like
foot.
the horse did yesterday, who outran Tom's horse.
Exactly.
Who normally would have been loose, and they went a
Exactly.
wicked fast pace up front.
Yeah.
So something to think about and keep an eye on those trainer switches from Kelly Breen. Race number 7. 2 Redheads is in, I think, on Thursday. I don't think it's Friday, I think it's Thursday. Why? She scratched, and
Shigeko.
go ahead.
I'm not thrilled. I'm not thrilled.
Okay.
But last time was a real step up for her, I thought.
I totally agree.
Chasing Daylight, she was a favorite. She was on the lead. She came back and won with the 75, so improving her figure. And
Third horse improved to Finger Lakes, 6
there
points.
it is, did the same thing. And yeah, she got to save ground. She was right behind that pace of Chasing Daylight, but she never really got clear sailing until it was too late. And she's not one you can necessarily trust, but I feel like with the Cantor Mossis that once they get a horse going the right way, they tend to stay going the right way for several races. So I thought last time was a step in the right direction, and I'm banking on the fact that she can repeat that effort, because repeating that effort is going to put her right there. And
Very well puts her in the winner's circle.
Right, it'll put her in the winner's circle, because Monroe, while I get it, it's a major drop down in class. And Todd's fine with these types of moves. It's not like
Well,
it's
mile and
an
eighth in the turf
unsuccessful thing.
was never anything that she was going to be successful at. I'm not even sure what she was doing, and she actually did a little running there, outrunning,
Embarrassed.
overacting. But I found a stat for Todd Pletcher.
Oh, really?
This is turf to scheduled dirt races in claiming races. Todd, and these are scheduled dirt races, has
that's
exceptional.
even
It's an odd stat.
Better than mine, yeah.
I mean, I just think this horse this is the day. If she can run it all, and I'm not sure she can, But if she can, she's going to beat these horses. Now, I think she may end up going off 6-5. So
Oh, yeah,
I'm not
she'll
sure.
be short.
She's, but I think that she's the right one because after Shigeko, who the
There
heck
is
do you want here?
nobody.
Right. So I've gone to her, and I just
Yeah,
thought
it feels like a
it's
two-horse
now or
race.
never for her. That is a funny picture of Todd.
I kind of like it. It makes me happy.
See, Byron Hughes is
Yeah, he's going back to school to
going
become
back
a
to
vet.
school. Yeah, I saw him yesterday.
Yep. Yeah. Good luck, Byron.
Yeah,
Wishing
yeah,
him
no,
the
I
best.
agree. He's worked for Todd for his 11 years.
Yep.
Yeah, no, he's been there a long time, and I'm sure that'll be a big
That
hole
went
to
by
fill for Todd.
quickly because when I first started working here, Michael McCarthy was still his assistant.
Why are you still working for
Why he
Todd?
was
That
still
11
like that first year I was here.
I remember. Yeah, I mean, that's why I know him from when he worked for Todd, but I wouldn't remember, you know. But yeah, no, Byron's worked him a long time, but we wish him the
Yeah.
best of luck, and he's obviously done a sensational job to be working for that barn for that long. Those are
Yes.
not easy jobs, and you think about, you know, you see Witt won the.
Yes, his first
Kentucky
grade
Jockey
stakes.
Club. Yeah,
Yeah,
of course,
I know.
worked
You
for-
thought
worked
when
for-
you said that, I immediately was like, who was
Worked for
between
Chad
Whitey
Brown.
and? Yeah, but Witt was in between
Oh,
Whitey and.
Witt worked for Todd.
For Todd.
I did not know that.
Yep.
He worked for Todd.
Yeah.
But, for Chad, yeah, he had a
Yep.
big win yesterday in the Kentucky Jockey Club. So congrats to him as well.
Mm-hmm.
Race number 8. I thought this was a fun race in race number 8, and of course we're going to have agreeing horses, I guess, all day long,
Nice.
which doesn't really help. But go ahead with Sheriff Bianco.
Hasn't he just run the best races so far? And I think beyond where he, especially last time where he wanted to go, he was so wide throughout. And yeah, I
Holding
mean,
on for second was extremely annoying to me. No, he earned it. Who knows?
He earned it.
Who knows? Made a kind of crazy move.
yeah. And I know Straight Arrow didn't run particularly well in the
Well,
Clark,
I understand
but
that they had shipped to Florida already, but why the heck would you take
Make
a
a New
horse
York
that's
bred.
running incredibly well in New York and not point the cigar mile with him and go down? Clark's not a better race to win. The purse is a little bit better, but this is a horse. I mean, they're both grade 2s. If anything, there's probably more prestige cigar mile. I thought it was. I tweeted about it before. Why you would go down there? He ran abysmally down there. Now he may not run well in cigar mile. Why would you leave a place where the horse has been running great and you get an extra week?
great. I mean, his 2 Aqueduct performances on the main track, even his turf race, that's neither here nor there, were
Oh, his turf race was good. He had trouble in that race.
were
I agree.
sensational.
Is a have to.
And even his
you know, he's a have to,
Saratoga
right?
effort. Oh God, it just escaped me.
Disco partner.
Disco Partner, that's right, being the turf horse, because that's why Mike Teeney's like, I still think he's better on the turf.
I'm not sure if he is, but I think he can run on the turf.
Yeah.
But my concern with Sheriff Bianco is that, can we switch the replays in this race, guys, and show Swift Shear first? My concern with him is he doesn't win. But what I like
Yes.
is that he's the horse that will be stalking Swift Shear. Were you surprised? And I'm not criticizing the line. David's right about these things. And if he made Swift Shear an 8-5 favorite in here, he must be very confident he's going to be a heavy favorite. Is he? I find
get
him
it.
an incredibly dubious favorite. This is his win 2 back. He's
I'm not saying I like him, but
he's
I
in
get
raging form
why
for
David
Horacio.
made him favorite.
He's in raging
yeah.
form. I don't want him against this field. I think there's just better horses in here. And I know that he ran fine in the 49er, but I think it's a very competitive field, and I felt like Sheriff Bianco would be one in attendance to him, and I didn't think the pace would be that strong, and I think Sheriff Bianco needs to be forward in here. So I kind of took him as the horse I was hoping would take over because I respect Swiftshear. Horacio's been doing very well. He's obviously improved. I just have trouble believing that Swiftshear is supposed to be the favorite in this field because I keep remembering who he used to be at least. But maybe he's not that horse anymore.
I mean, he doesn't looking at him, he's really rounded into a very good-looking horse, and he gets to go back on Lasix here, and just a world of different horses last time out, and I think he's loose here. I think he controls.
Oh, he is loose. He's fast.
You hope that Sheriff Bianco with Jose Lezcano, like you said, isn't too far away
Linda's
from
got
him.
to put him in the game.
Yeah,
He's
but
gotta be
speaking
in
of
the game.
facing good horses, so is Sheriff Bianco, and I just
No,
felt
I-
like those two are
I wish he
the
wasn't
class of the
1 for
field.
13 with 7 seconds this year. That worries me.
yeah.
He just,
28 starts, he's finished second 12 times.
and he's
I
a
mean,
super, super cool horse, and you think that Linda
God, he's
claimed him
making
on the
his
turf.
14th
and
start
he got,
of this year,
he
too.
got rained off the turf, and that's how he
How
ended
he
up running
ended-
on the dirt. And what's
exactly.
he made since then? Almost
He was a
$500,000.
Wesley Ward.
Yeah. Yeah, he's made almost $500,000, made 300 this year, and probably a lot of that 200 last year was for Linda. So she's a remarkably good claim. Unbridled Bomber, Daydreaming Boy, Bold Endeavor,
4-horse race
all
last
of
time.
them.
Yeah.
I like
3
Unbridled
of the 4.
Bomber with the idea of a one-turn race. The problem is, how fast is the pace going to be today? I like him
Not.
sort of better in the one-turn race, the deeper closer. He did come back gamely against Daydreaming Boy. I don't particularly like Daydreaming Boy in this race.
No, see,
though
I
this is
disagree with.
impossible.
I think he's better when he is closer. Unbridled Bomber.
Maybe, but I don't know how close he could be in this race.
I think he. I mean, no, you're right. He
No,
probably-
I'm not saying he's going to be. Well, the pace tracker has him way back. I don't know. I like him more
he's
because
going
I
back
like
from-
his style in one-turn races.
Yes.
But I guess you could say the same thing for Daydreaming Boy, though he hasn't been in a one-turn race in quite a while. He's obviously gotten to good form. I'm just an Unbridled Bomber guy.
Did he
I like
hang
him.
last time? Do you think, Daydreaming Boy?
Maybe a little, but Unbridled Bomber beat him. He's pretty good. The
That's what
race
I'm
didn't come
saying.
back that fast.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know. What about Constitution Lawyer for Ray?
Yeah.
Who-
He really upped his game last time.
Ray really should be going. You know, Ray is Jamaican. He should be heading down to Jamaica. They hope he's going to come next year, they told me.
He should send something.
I know. He could have sent Constitutional Lawyer. He'd been a favorite.
Exactly.
Ray, you could have been hanging out with us in Jamaica next week. Baby.
This was a
Last-
trip of all trips.
It was also a great ride by Dylan.
What's what I'm saying? Dylan just nailed this one.
Well, he also was Andy off. I had bet him the time before. I wonder about him cutting back, but
I think it'll be, well, they have seemed to want to have him going 2 turns throughout his entire career.
But they may also have been some of the races that came up for him too. And like, well, I guess it's the other way. This race came up for him. He's now a non-winner of 3 other than. Where are they going to run him? Here are
Right.
stakes, and this race came up, and it's
I mean,
right,
he
take
went,
a shot.
You know, his last one before that one was 1 turn out on the 16th at Belmont. So
This was a big
against
fig race.
Film Star, he beat Film Star that day.
Yeah, this is a big fig race. I think he's very possible in here.
He is very possible.
Yeah, I don't want to completely give up on him. This is a good race. I think
No,
we
it is a really
we
good race.
closed
The
card
top
out
4
we closed
horses we have it's going to be contentious.
we closed it out with 2 very good races. The last race today is an extremely good race, and I guess the question in the last race today, where I'm sure we'll end up agreeing because we've agreed all day long, why would it change? We don't.
We
for a
don't.
change.
Okay.
Is Goddess of Fire, and we'll take a look at Goddess of Fire running second. Tarabi. Tarabi's a horse that never really reappeared this year, right? For
Did
Cherie
she?
DeVoe. Yeah.
No.
Cherie had a fast maiden winner at Churchill yesterday, like 86. Not legal. I forget. I tweeted there was the 2-year-old maiden winner in the second race. I mean, obviously she has talent. I don't know. How much do you trust this horse?
Not that much coming off that long of a layup. It's
Yeah.
not like Todd's incapable of doing
No.
and getting horses to win.
ROIs
This is
are
the little
low, this-
sister to Mind Control.
Oh, okay. I
Right?
did not
Yeah.
remember that. That makes sense.
I don't know. Did you
I just wanted somebody to bet against her with.
Yeah, and I mean, last time over a year ago, Society, got loose on the lead and wired the
Well,
field,
something
and
went
she
wrong
just
last time.
obviously,
Right.
exactly. So,
Her coach, her Alabama was fine. I mean,
and she is a
did
bit of an
well.
overachiever, much like her brother. They seem to show up if everything's going well, no matter kind of what the condition and who they're facing. But so right at a short price off that long of a layoff, why not look elsewhere?
Yeah, no, it's exactly how I feel. But I'm not.
You went
wild
with
against
Copa
her.
Girl. Now, I thought
Well, we'll show her
she was a
race back
little
in
bit
August.
against the track, but she just stopped last time.
Well, something went wrong last time out.
Okay.
Because first of all, she got carried out into the first turn, like 5 to 6 wide before tucking in.
And she had to check.
And she, it's like she was running really well, and then suddenly at the 3/8 pole, she just stopped. And I almost feel like something must have gone wrong. And you go back to this race against Into Happiness. She ran well in this race. Into Happiness is in good form. I thought her prior race was good. And I feel like she's the right horse if you want to go against the favorite of her prior 2 races, and something must have gone wrong last time. We haven't seen her in almost 3 months, and I'm going to give her a pass for that race because she was right there and just stopped running. Now, maybe she's not any good anymore, but I'm going to give her one more chance. And
Yeah, and 2, I think, a little less ground going to help her maybe back out to this 1-turn type of scenario.
Yep. Now, you've taken this horse. We'll take a look at Ain't Broke, winning at Churchill last time. Linda had to wait. Now, people wondering, should she have to wait until this Churchill meet was over? Mm-hmm. Even though it's over today?
No, this is the fall meet.
I know. So where has this one been? Could she have run this horse back already? You follow what I'm saying? Oh, I will tell you something else about this horse. This horse was claimed
What's the rule?
by her brother.
Oh.
Because Linda probably couldn't claim there, but so there is a wait period too, as
There
you well know,
is.
for like 30 days if you're going to transfer ownership, and it's been 2 months.
Yeah.
And now it's been today. It's been a little over 60, right? It's been
Yeah.
about 66 or something. I think. I don't know.
I don't know, but that effort last time was very good, I thought.
Doesn't she still need to improve though?
She does. I think I'm just banking on the fact that I don't know if the others are going to show, because you are taking Cobra Girl and Goddess of Fire coming off of poor efforts and layoffs, and are they going to be able to get back to their best races? Obviously Cobra Girl is not that long of a layoff,
We're hoping
but
she improves for Linda too, which she's got to do.
that's what I'm hoping, and I really thought that was a great effort last time because she wanted to go early, and she kept getting checked back, and going into the 2nd turn, she was last, and she had to make up all that ground. And, flattered a bit when Thestral came back, who was the only other horse to beat in that race, and won with the 75. So, not really jumping forward that much, but I thought maybe I'd take the kind of, I don't want to say now horse, because she is coming off a little bit of layoff, but I'm just banking on the fact that Linda's
Well,
just
it's 2
done well
months
with
now.
these horses.
Yeah, Dame Senko is the wild card in here, and,
Yeah,
and the question
they're
with her.
protecting her big time.
Right. The question, though, with her is how much speed is the 3 and 9 going to show? Because if they don't go aggressively, Manny's going to be able to control this race.
Yep.
On the other hand, she better run a lot better than she did last time because she was involved in a slow pace, and she really didn't run particularly well in her last race, and that was first
Well,
time for
she
Rick.
may have needed it too.
She might have needed it off a 6-month
Yeah.
layoff. I'm not denying it.
And I feel like
think
a
she's
lot
dangerous.
And I feel like a lot of times connections do protect the horses when they have that option off the layoff, because ultimately, not necessarily that they don't want to lose the horse. They do, but they know that they probably need a race.
Okay, that's fair.
So they want to, keep them, get that fitness, and then, strike again. But they opt to, put her in an even tougher spot. So
This is a much tougher spot, but maybe that's a positive.
that's what I mean.
I mean, they know who they're running against here, and if the others aren't aggressive, Manny's going to be able to lead these on a merry chase. She needs to run better than she's ever run before, but she may well do that for Rick,
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be surprised, and I'm certainly going to use her. I could see any of these horses winning the last race.
Yeah.
I am scared of her, but we went in a slightly different direction. Maggie, it's a pleasure as always.
Yeah.
You will be joining us around the 3rd or 4th race today, I think.
Yeah,
I will
something
be
like that.
upstairs the first couple races, but hope everybody has a wonderful holiday. I'll be around on Twitter, and I'll see you all from Jamaica. Roger
we'll
and I will
miss
be
you.
covering it. Thanks. I'll miss you as well, but I'm sure you and I will be texting as we always do. But anyway, head over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, no better time than the present. Use the promo code MATCH200. I always want to say SPA200. MATCH200. We will match the $200 of your initial deposit. Play through Naira Bets. Keep the money in the game. We have a middle pick 4, races 2, 3, and 6 in the pick 4s today, 9-race card. We've got a $2,500 hit and split with Churchill on the early pick 5, their closing day at Churchill. Also that 0 exacta takeout, opt in over at Naira Bets to participate in this and the show from 12 to 4:30 on FS2. Once again, everybody, have a wonderful holiday. I will miss you guys, but looking forward to a little bit of time off. But I'm sure I'll be playing a bit, and I'll be semi-active on Twitter, depending on
Oh,
my
well,
mood.
he'll be hardcore stuff.
Depends. Some basketball stuff, Anyway,
Jeopardy.
Chris Griffin. Oh, Jeopardy, yeah. Oh, betting is just so sad. Anyway, Chris Griffin up next with a reprise. He scratched and changes. Have a great day.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.